one we out in LA, like James Harden. It's all good in the neighborhood, welcome to the garden. Grab a 40 and a comic book. We finna take an atomic look. We got the problem shook. Come through and slide some folks some perspective. Create the narrative in the objective. We so effective, all good. It's all good, let's have a fun show starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 5, 4, 3, 2. It's all good, yo. It's all good. The show's starting. Time to put your heart in, yo. Let's have some fun. Show finna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
CXLDSPEE. CA. Don't hate. CXLDSPEE. CH. I can't wait.
Wake up and take a whiff, cut out the BS. I'm here today with my illustrious host, my illustrious homie, my dog, my brother. You feel me? If I could ever do life with a partner of mine in business and everything else, it would just be my dog, my best friend. I don't want to introduce because I'm gonna say what I call you.
Yeah. Okay.
You might not want the world to call you that.
Say what you said again. You said you're the friendly.
Oh, I'm the friendly neighborhood savage ghetto Eskimo.
Friendly neighborhood savage ghetto Eskimo. Okay, so I'll be the angry suburban geek.
I love that. I do love that.
Hot talk.
Yo, I said, look, Mr. Hot Take, Mr. Cut the Crap, Mr. Keep It Real with you. I said, me personally, I call him Frog because he gonna be quick to, hop on your head and let you know you bullshit and all that what you're doing ain't sitting right in his spirit. So that's just what I call him. But I do. His name's Brandon. Now, those who don't know, my name is also Brandon. So just to simplify
That's why we're
things,
friends.
just to simplify things, we normally come up with, something to call the other so that it won't get confused. And for some reason, our whole friendship, people don't gather that. So instead of just like coming up with a nickname for the other, whatever one you want to call Brandon, call that one Brandon. We don't care about that. But come up with a nickname for the other so you don't have to specify which Brandon. Like you don't have to, like, okay, for example, our friend group that we used to kick it with, now when we see them, you're like, oh, that's Brandon. I said, what, the other Brandon? No, that's Father Brandon. I was like, all right. Darky, cold, anything. And my mom used to call me Darky growing up, so I would be okay being a dark-skinned dude in a light-skinned world.
Hey,
I like it now.
In.
I like it now. If I didn't already pick Coast Beach, that would be the name. It'd be Darky or Beads. I like Beads.
10 years in, people we could both be somewhere together. Someone like, hey, Brandon, and be like, that one. Is it light skin one, dark skin one?
They don't. I would say they don't even say light skin, dark skin. They don't mention height. They literally just. I don't know.
It's Brandon, that one. Okay.
It's the 2+2. But I said, for those that don't know, me and my compadre over here every year go to the Anime Expo.
See.
For the last 3 years, we didn't make sure we went there, and then the coolest ghetto nerds you can possibly see ever. So
Suburban Geek. Yeah.
With all that, because I'm definitely the coolest ghetto nerd. So Suburban Geek, I love that. Angry Suburban Geek is that's that ticket.
Even though we're from the same city, but yeah.
Oh no, for sure. Hey, Asadina, for sure. But with all that being said, today, not only are we gonna get into controversial topics and actual conversations we want to curate and everything, because we figured out a new initiative called The Plan, and that's peace, love, art, and nature. And we're gonna talk about how we would deal with that in general, whatever topics come up from that. We're gonna keep it raw and real. But today, especially with my dog here, we're gonna get into some geek, some nerdness, some anime-ness. Yeah. We're gonna get into all of that too, as well as the conditions of life that we live in. So first is the P for pimping. I'm just saying, nice for peace. So what are and this is kind of like a love question too, but like, what are 5 songs that have never failed you?
In terms of what?
I'm saying like these are 5 like unbeatable Jones. Like these are 5 songs that no matter how life is going, no matter how you feel, these are songs you can play, and you feel better. Like the soundtrack of the mood that you're in at that moment has just been lifted because you played this song. And it doesn't, like, I'm saying you can have more than 5 in your life, but like, what are 5 like unbeatable? Like this is the jam.
The only one that really comes to mind is "Love" by Music Soul Child. For sure. That was the one. I'm feeling the funk. Good play.
I said that.
Everything's good.
I love Music Soul Child. For sure. I dig that. So Love by Music Soul Child is the one song you got where it's like, yo.
I'm trying to think, because I've been in the gangster rap phase my whole life, and I'm just now getting away from that. So I'm just now leaning more towards the peaceful side of music, and it's very difficult.
Now, why? Why would that be a difficult thing? Let people know what it's like to like. Because I ain't gonna lie, anyone besides you that has told me like, yeah, bro, I don't really like R&B like that. In my head, I think gay. Like the first thing that pops up in my head is you're gay, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you the type of like prison gay where like you too tough to even be around women. Like you need to go over there in the corner and smoke a cigar and get mad at air. Like, cause I ain't got to, I you know me, I love being around women. I love talking to women. So R&B, there's just the embodiment of that in music. So it's like
R&B is fire. I'm just now getting into it. I just didn't grow up. I mean, I'm an only child, so I didn't grow up like just choosing to play it a lot. I played a lot of 50, Ice Cube, Biggie. That's what I listened to a lot growing up. So now I'm finally getting on. I'm like, you know what? Can't really play this forever.
Okay. If you,
I get some more R&B in your arsenal.
Hey, indeed. I think R&B is the cheat code. I think those songs are literally telling you how, what, and when to do everything you need to serenade. You feel me? Those hips in your life.
Yeah. No facts.
But I said so that's the soundtrack to like what would be the piece for you. Like the soundtrack for peace would be Love by Music Soul Child, which is up. That's a fantastic choice. Now let's get into like, and we talked about this kind of on the way over here, right? Just a little bit, but we like we specified it to like black sitcoms. But like, what are like? Give me like 3 shows where like, yo, like I'm trying to just like
just chill.
Yeah.
Black shows or just like any show? Any show.
We're more along the line of trying to like show the audience like what peace looks like to you, but where it's a artist based podcast. So it's like what forms of art like bring you the peace. Then what's happened to the love, then what's happened to art itself and all that, then what's happened to nature, which for me and you is mostly let God do what he do, and then we'll talk about the parameters of what that looks like. But right now we're on the peak, so it'd be the peace. So like 3 shows that you feel like bring you, like no matter what, you can always go back to that show and be straight.
The Bernie Mac show, for sure.
For sure.
The Office.
The Office.
Until season 7. After that, you can scrap it. But
ain't that the last season or the last like one?
No, they have 2 more seasons. They have 2 more. They have 8 and 9. The last.
So it's 3. So season 7 is the last one you should like you watch and you'll be like, yeah, okay, I can consume that. 8 and 9 is like
Yeah, I watched up to 7, then I started over.
All right, for sure.
Yeah, I can't watch the last 2. Bernie Mac, The Office. As right now, I'd probably say My Wife and Kids. Just to have one for like background noise.
Now, okay, talking about the embodiment of peace, do you feel like, because I did notice that the 3 shows you did mention have a high ranking figure in the whatever system of that show who kind of makes all the decisions. Like, how do you feel about those kind of people in real life? Like if you had a Michael Kyle in your life, or you had like what's old boy's name from The Office?
Michael Scott.
There you go. If you had a Michael Scott in your life, you had I'm asking because I can honestly say if I had a Bernie Mac in my life as my dad, I wouldn't be upset. I'd be happy. For a long time, Bernie Mac was my blueprint of some things when my dad wasn't around. I read his book, I think it's like Maybe You'll Never Cry Again or something. But he's talking literally about his life and how they called him Spook Juice and how he met his wife. I ain't gonna lie, yeah, that one killed me. Spook Juice? I'm a dark skinned dude and I never heard Spook Juice.
Oh, that's crazy.
Spook Juice, bro.
That's crazy,
He
bro.
also talked about like how poor he was and everything else like that. So it's like for him, you know, everything that came to him, he just like enjoyed life a little bit more because he already had it hard. So he was just happy to be able to do comedy and get it off. But, you know, how would you feel if you had a Michael Kyle as like your dad?
You see, Bernie Mac as a dad would be straight. Like, he seems like if you're just doing what you're supposed to be doing, like you get like good grades, you're not getting in trouble with school. It seemed like he'd be pretty chill with you. Michael Kyle, nah, bro. Like, I was thinking about the episode where he gives all of his kids money, and then he's like, "I'll double whatever it is that you make by the end of the week." And Junior gambles with his, and then he's like he just got like a natural talent, so he bets Michael and then beats him and gets all his money, and so Michael goes and buys a slot machine because he knows that he'll put all of the money in it.
Yes.
I was like, bro, I get it. Like break his gambling.
I get that.
It makes
I
some
get
money.
that.
He makes some money,
I get that.
but Michael Scott too.
understand. You have to deal with those kind of people because those type of people that they promote to management. So I mean, you've worked security before.
I have worked security before.
But we already talked about them. But the Power Rangers, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Those when you work security, until you work security, you never think those Paul Blart dudes are real.
They really
You
exist.
never think those
They really exist.
cats are real. You don't know that they're real till you start actually working security, and you have to work with one of them, and they can't wait for the police to actually show up. They can't wait for some BS to happen, and they're over here like dun dun dun, and they got the shirt tucked in, holding their hand behind their back, like, yes, officer, I did this, I did that. They can't wait to like use their punctuation and talk. That joke didn't even correlate until I really start working security, and I was
telling you,
like, low key, not
Your
even
job
low
is to
key,
tell on people.
high key. Our job is to snitch, bro, because we're not supposed to. Certain people think as security, my job is to rescue the purse after the criminal came, slapped the hell out of your mama, and ran off with her purse. No, my job is literally to watch that thing happen and then write about it. I have to go in my journal and write, oh yeah, Miss Patterson got snuck. He clomped her with the haymaker, and he wore red bandana, white shoes, Air Force Ones, fresh edition 2016. That's like, I have to put as much detail of what I saw in that event as possible. He took 2 lefts and a right, jumped on a table, ordered McDonald's, went home. Like I'm only saying this because I used to work at a mall.
It's trash,
and
bro.
That's when
It's trash.
that's when I saw the most Power Rangers. And even then, I worked at the Montclair Mall. And if you were going to the Montclair Mall at that time, there were several jewelry stores that got like popped in. Folks came in there. They even left the car outside running. They had no getaway driver. They left the car running, parked outside. The car running, parked outside. They went inside to the jewelry store right next to the exit, the main exit. They smashed that thing in, grabbed some jewelry, got back in the car, dipped off. Now Montclair is a very, very peaceful, boring, nothing going on city with a bunch of attractions that gets the cities next to it, around it to visit it. So my internet to work, because at first it wasn't, but they shifted me to a shift where my internet was flourishing.
I watched so many shows. I got tired of TV. I caught up on everything: animes, movies, TV series. I caught up on everything.
I was watching every show that came out that I was like, I want to watch. I was watching it. Then podcasts, I would literally say something like download them and then watch them later. Basically, I was just consuming what I wanted. It got to a point where I bought a retro gaming handheld and I was on that thing playing. I'm talking about like Kirby, got it. Def Jam Fight for New York City, got it. But it was up. But I'm saying that we're only saying this to say the contrast between the difference of when you work security and you know that this job not serious, like you apply it that kind of way. Versus when you work security, they want you to take this like it's life or death.
They sure do.
Like everything happens, you need to drop things. You need to be there. You need to work. Someone really told me like, yeah, bro, how would you dress if you were going to do security for the president? I was like, bro, that's a stupid question to ask me. That's retarded to ask me. Not retarded. I don't want to. That's stupid to ask me. Because why would you think I'm the type of cat that they would get to guard the president? If anything, I'm a duck. Like, what? I ain't taking that bullet for
I don't guard this building right. You want me to guard the president? No.
I was
They
like,
wouldn't hire me
what?
for that. Come on,
What? The president? Like, how would you wear it if you work for the president? Bro, I don't give a damn about the president. I barely care about you. This conversation pissing me off.
No, facts for real. That's so funny.
Awesome. But, okay, so to get back.
Sucks.
Security does suck. Security does suck. I ain't gonna lie. Out here, right now we in LA, right? Security is such a hot thing out here just because people want that sense of security. We call it security theater because like nothing really happens and nothing's going to happen. But the fact that I'm here in my little security shirt, you know, and if I have enough of a presence, you feel protected. But technically, I'm not, unless it's an armed security post, like I can't do anything. If someone come over here and punch me, I might get fired for punching him back.
Bro, you could literally watch someone take the cash money out the register, slap the cashier, and you got to let them just walk out. Like, you can't stop them.
I think that's like when, like, you know how like the mall got that protocol? Where like at the mall, like they're not allowed to stop you.
They're not,
So
they got to let you go.
You can really go to the mall and be like, yeah, I need 5 size 13s of these 4 colors. Like that, like a movie lottery ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can do that and just walk out with it. And like like the alarm will go off and everything. But really, that's something that someone else pointed how fake that was in lottery ticket, because as he got the shoes and he's walking out and be like, oh, bro, you still left the tags on? You put something in here so we would go off on the sensor? You little punk. And then next scene is him getting slammed on the like floor by a cop.
You could sue for that.
No, I'm saying that's like,
if it was a security guard.
there's no cops that close to any mall in the world where they would actually be able to catch him and put him against the glass.
No.
Like, unless the situation was like the cop was just there for some other reason and they just happened to call down and he ran up there and got him. But even then, he still could have got away. Like, it's not like their neighborhood was close to the mall. It was the hood. Like, there's no, like, you got to catch a bus anywhere to get to the mall from the hood. Like, that's just not. So, I mean, that, you know, those little nuances in movies that, you know,
Make no sense.
don't really exist, but movie magic. Speaking of that, right, just because we're on the topic, what movie was just in the, have you seen Straw?
I have not seen Straw yet.
Okay, Straw, one of the movies you wouldn't see, but you would see, like, you would only see, like, once.
Is it sad?
Yeah.
And movies do be good, though. They be sad.
It's Tyler Perry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's and it also, that's another question. How do you feel about, because we've had this conversation before, how do you feel about the nuances in Black movies?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, for example, I know most people be like, yeah, bro, I'm tired of seeing, like, you know, Black movies, or I'm tired of seeing our movies be based in trauma or overcoming something. Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, like, it's real, but I don't know. Sometimes I want to see something like a little more positive.
Awesome. Do you have like a for instance, or like not saying it's a Black one? I'm saying like a for like I wish Black people had this kind of movie that another group of people might have.
That's a good question.
I'm saying, because I've heard people say that before, but then when I ask them like what, that's when like people get like a little stuck. Can be like, bro, I don't know. I just know I'm tired of seeing this in our movies, but I don't really have anything to judge it on or like give an example of like what I'd rather see.
What is the movie with Kiki Palmer when she was doing the spelling bee?
Akilah and the Bee.
That one. I want to see more movies kind of like that.
My son, but she came from the hood in that movie.
That's fine.
Like they was on her head for reading. That's
They was. You can read.
she thinks because she can spell.
Spell knuckle sandwich.
I said like people be hating, and I go a lot of those like inspirational, aspirational movies. It's normally like that. Like it's someone who like because of the environments we're raised in, or because of the stereotypes that come with that person, like they're expected not to like succeed. Like The Blind Side.
That was a good movie.
I said that was a good movie, but literally it's like this like what that boy that big dummy. He playing football. He shouldn't be able to play football. Look at them white folks taking him in. You a dummy for taking in a dummy. Like it's,
Oh, for real?
it's ridiculous. And then
That's funny.
even like that's not even Keke Palmer only one. She also got the Tyler Perry movie where like she was like her family was rough and Medea take her in,
Mm-hmm.
and then
She was in there whooping her?
Yeah, and then she whoop her, and it's like like after a couple whoopings and her seeing like I'm actually on your side, then she like she fixes her act and gets it together. But besides that, a lot of our stories be like based in all that and trauma or like overcoming the
A
environment.
lot of them are based in trauma.
I'm saying, but
that
then
is true.
but unless it's a funny one, which is you don't want to add the trauma because it's supposed to be hilarious. Like Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins got nothing to do with the hood. It's literally just like the fact that his family from the country, and that's not even like like no one over there is like exuberantly like little Boosie ghetto like.
That's funny.
Because when I think of the South, and I think of like, I'm thinking of Webby, Boosie, that whole little era. You saying for sure, I'm saying for sure Webby,
For sure, Boosie.
for sure Webby,
For sure, Boosie.
for sure Webby. Webby got into it on 1 and 6 in Park and was like, "Hey man, get your hoe, man." Talking about the co-host of the show.
That's wild.
That's the type of go. But that goes back to the peace we talking about. The peace. You feel me? Do you? Man. Should we go there?
Might as well.
Should we go there?
Now. Might as well. Go there.
Okay. Let's do. Okay. So I watched this video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no. I watched a separate video. You told me about this other video, but it was about a girl saying that the street thug guy is the most feminine acting guy.
Oh no. She said the dude who drinks a lot.
I said, oh no, that must have been the video I watched. Okay, yeah, you said to get the drinks a lot. Okay, for sure. Because
That
the
was
video I
funny
watched,
take, though.
the video I watched, she for sure said that like you're so attracted to the guy who you feel like gonna stand on business with a little street cred or whatever. But then when it get back to like the
know what you're talking about.
actual like assessing how they act, those the most sensitive dudes. Those the most dudes that be like, yeah, like
That's facts.
like we connect because we act alike. Like you catch little bitch fits, I catch bitch fits. You catch little tidbits and temper tantrums, I catch temper tantrums. You emotional, I'm emotional.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna say all of them. But look, being friends with hood dudes suck. Cause I just don't like it. Like you gotta walk on eggshells with them. Like you can't make certain jokes, and it's like any little possible thing could just set them off. And it's like, was this really a joke worth? And now they're trying to catch a friendly feel. Like, bro, was this really something worth fighting about?
I do think that like cause we come from Alcina and Pasadena, right? I've been saying my whole life
Dana,
like
yeah.
it's either you get out and you can come back and give something to the neighborhood. You get out and you have to stay out because that's too familiar for you and it prevents the growth. Or this is a place you have to stay. And I feel like most hoods are like that, where like you have to stay in that environment to feel understood. Because that's where like all that aggressiveness, all that ratchetness, all that extraness, all that loudness, it makes sense. It's conducive. It's allowed there. Versus when you start escaping, that's when the judgment hits you because it's like, why are you like this? And they don't understand the environment you come from. They don't understand the situations you've been through. So they're going to look at you like it's crazy. Just like when you're from the hood and then someone comes to you and they say something that's foreign to you, you already know they're going to look at you like you're crazy. we talk about all the time. The list of black movies is a conversation alone that like you have to like watch out what you say because you nigga would not leave you alone about not seeing the right particular movie that they grew up seeing.
It's gonna be a problem. Like, look, bro, I'm just saying with like hood dudes. I mean, it's like dealing with like your girl. Like with your girl, you like can't make the same jokes with her that you would like around your friends because you know she might take a couple of those a little more personal. Might be a little more sensitive. It's the same thing with hood dudes, bro. You can't call them certain things like you can with your regular friends. You can't make certain jokes because they're gonna be ready to blow up about it. It's like, all right.
I understand both, honestly. But you already know me. That's because I'm, you know, coolest good on nerd. When you're associated with the streets, right? Your name is your name. So like everything about you and what goes on with you has to be serious because that's how they take it. Like, and once you in this, like, there's no way out of that. Like, if you really join something, you really there, and you an affiliate, like, you always got that on you. But like, you can go leave and go do some, add to the legacy that shows that people from this neighborhood don't just have to be this; they can also be this. Like, they can also be that. Versus like, if you do some whack stuff, it's like, nigga, you wasn't part of this. That nigga just lived over here. And even when he lived over here, we slapped him in the back of the head and told him to get on somewhere. But in general, like the street dudes, like they take things more serious because their name is their name. So like everything attached to them has to be serious. Everything's word of mouth. And the last thing you need is anyone ever to say, oh, big, you know, Big Dracula, I knocked him out last week. I knocked Big Dracula on his boots. So you felt like, you know, and you can't have that go around. So now you Big Dracula, now you Big Dracula? I heard you got knocked on your boot. You felt like it's over. Like, so I think they just have to take things a little bit more seriously. When she said that, I understood, like with the video I saw, I understood what was going on.
It makes sense.
I understood her saying that because objectively, yeah, it's up there. But also with understanding, like you understand what it is. I'm not saying that it's something you overlook because you understand it. I'm not saying it's something you all of a sudden want to tolerate now because you understand it. Because you can easily still be like, yeah, bro, I'd just rather not be around it. Like, I don't want to have to like tiptoe around anybody.
Look, do you? I just don't want to be around it.
Yeah, I'm saying like it's up for the piece.
Player?
And 75% of the time, they just like, oh, bro, it's just fuck me for being this way. Fuck you for judging me. So it's like, you know, it is what it is.
It's what it is. Was what it was. Ain't what it used to be.
I'm saying, you feel me? You feel me?
Right on.
I'm saying, what else been popping off in the news? I feel like there's a lot that goes on, but because me and you be so off the radar, we don't really be paying attention. But we'll call each other and say it, like we'll be talking about it. But like, we don't really be like paying too much attention. What just happened? Remy Ma's son is going to jail for like killing somebody's father. And Remy Ma was at court and she had no remorse for what happens. It's like she was at court tripping, ready to fight and everything with the Nikes on. She had dressing some Nikes on, ready to fend for her son.
You know what that means? She came in there ready.
Indeed.
She came in there with intentions.
But I only brought up Remy Ma.
Nike is diabolical.
I brought up Remy Ma to talk about the love portion, right? So we can tap into the love portion. But me and you both talk about it, how it's hard to love people who have no accountability for what they do, what they continue to do, and anything else like that. I only brought up Remy Ma because her character, I don't know Remy Ma as a person, and I'm in the music industry, and I'm in the industry enough to know that the ideas of characters that we carry don't necessarily be that person. Like, that don't necessarily be what it is. We only see fragments of them and then make wholehearted, you know, character-based judgments off them. So I don't really know Remy Ma like that. But the Remy Ma, the character, the persona she's given has been that. Like a person who like we have no remorse for what we do, no accountability for our actions. I know you probably don't know too much about the Remy Ma situation, but Remy Ma was in jail. She used to be part of Fat Joe's crew. That song Lean Back, the female rapper on that's Remy Ma. Remy Ma went to jail off, I believe, shooting somebody, if I'm not mistaken. Or it was some kind of violent offense, right? I don't know too much about details of why she went to jail. But Remy Ma came out of jail. And if you were dealing with African-American women at the time, Remy Ma went on Love and Hip Hop, right? And you already know when we were younger, nigga, that show was everything to the Ratchets and the Ski Bops and the Scallywags. So
yeah, it was.
Awesome. That show was everything to them. So Remy Ma was on there and she's presenting her character as like the OG who's kind of like with it, but she married. And her husband supposedly is like was her boyfriend when she got locked up, and he held her down through the whole like 7-10 years she was in jail. Right? He visited her, raised their kids together, all that jazz. Like he just had her back, married her and everything. Now that she was finally out, they was doing a little couple thing. All that was popping. Around like last year or 2 years ago, you know who Easy the Block Captain is, the battle rapper?
No,
Awesome.
I haven't kept up with battle rap in a long time.
I said, well, a battle rapper was, you know, he was part of Cave Gang. Oh no, he was part of Gun Titles with Tay Rock and Sue Surf and
Okay,
all
bet.
that, right?
Yeah.
So he was part of that unit, but then he started causing problems, and then something happened with that where he got kicked out that unit, whatever. Either way, he's a problematic cat. But he, you know, he's a battle rapper. He do what he do. Remy Ma apparently was hooking up with him on the side, and Papoose knocked him on his boots, right? That's just what happened. But during that whole interaction, none of us knew for sure until Geechee Gotti had a battle with Easy the Block Captain. Remy Ma started her own battle league called Chrome 23. On that, Easy the Block Captain is like her Michael Jordan of that league. Like that's her like go-to. He's the one that headlines everything. So to find out that she was, you know, also messing with Dog behind the scenes was like, that's extra. Reed didn't get no remorse like for that. Like, what are you doing to Papoose who held you down? That was kind of y'all's story. The story is that he loved you enough to hold you down. You loved you loved him enough to like, you know, appreciate all that. So that went out the window. That's the accountability, number one. Two, once it was like brought up and drug up, they didn't really do nothing about it until Papoose got with the boxer Clarissa Shields. And all of a sudden, like that's the kind of the story. Like it's like messy. Like who gonna fight? We gonna fight. She be doing little tidbits online to get at her. She do things back. That's just what it is. But it's all around like the idea that like we never like Remy Ma never publicly apologized the way she publicly embarrassed Dog. Right. And I might be rebelling up some, you know, some ovaries might be upset that I said this because, you know, if I don't say equal things bad about men that I am women get riled up. But in general, we just didn't get that kind of like public apology that we would expect in those kind of regards. And it brought it back all the way back to like accountability. It's kind of like this might have been a terrible story to use for the accountability part, but it's just like, how do you feel about people who aren't accountable for like what they do, what they say, but they still expect you like to just act like it didn't happen? Like, how do you still love that person? How do you still look that and then give them the love they're asking for? Because those be the same people who swear they don't need you, but then like 2 weeks pass and they're calling your phone like, hey, can you come over? And
You asking me how I would do it?
yeah. Because I'm dealing with it right now, and I'm almost to my breaking point where like when I finally leave, you're not gonna hear from me. I'm out, gone. I'm gonna love you from a far distance.
Well, I mean, you always got to forgive people. You know,
Indeed.
you always got to forgive people. Forgive as Jesus forgave you. You feel me?
There you go. Drop some Bible on them. Drop some Bible on them.
Look, we all do our own things. You know, we all have our baggage that we were all forgiven for. So we would be wrong to not forgive someone else for what they've done. But I'm kind of in a weird place with that too. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, does forgiveness mean put yourself in the same position to get screwed over again, or does it mean to forgive them for what they did and then, you know, kind of like make your space from them? Me, I'm still stuck in the middle. I can't give you an answer on that yet. All I know is that the good book says to forgive 70 times 7. So I will try my best to forgive people, but at the same time, I'm not gonna like if I get cheated on, like I will forgive you. Yeah, am I gonna keep dating you? I can't say that, but I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Awesome. I believe that God forgave Adam. I believe that.
I think he did too.
I believe he forgave Adam. That still don't stop me from this world that I live in, that Adam, that caused all of this. I think forgiving is one thing. And it's also for like yourself, your heart.
Adam
You don't want to, you don't have
Adam
that.
better than me, bro. I would have snitched.
You don't want to have that angle in
She
your
ate it.
heart. You don't want to have that angle in your heart. Awesome. First of all, Adam the first simp. Cause he went down. Adam ain't even getting no trim yet, bro.
He didn't.
In the Garden of Eden, and he just over here looking at the bunny rabbits, be like, "Why they stuck?" And then looking at the deer, like, "Damn, they stuck too." He on top of her. That's crazy. I know that's uncomfortable. And then over there, he just seeing all the stuff around. Next thing you know, God just like, "You feel lonely, huh?" Like, "Yeah, God, what's up? Break me off some." It's like, all right, then, rib, woman, and that's fine.
Wow.
That's fine, but she just over there walking around. And right? So, you know, there's all this like all this thing. We don't even know if she was caking like that.
Oh my God, bro.
We don't know what was going on.
We don't.
We don't know what was going on
We
for
don't
him
know.
to be like, you know what? You ate an apple?
But we know she didn't have a BBL. That's for sure.
You know an apple? Oh no, we gotta talk about the
never
BBLs. Nah, we gotta talk about this. No, because we on the love part.
Oh, okay,
Where did
okay.
the self-love go? Where did it go? I'm so angry. Everywhere I look, someone said on something I watched, they was like, bro, we should be making fun of how goofy these people look with BBLs. Like that, we should make fun of them to the point where no one else wants to get it.
But maybe that's what they needed to love themselves a little bit more.
But it's if your love is placated on attention, you'll do any circus act to get more attention. Okay.
Look. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm saying that might be what they need. If you live in life looking for other people's acceptance of you, you're never going to get enough.
Little Kim was a
But-
trickle effect. At first it started one thing, then it ended up this. Next thing you know, Lil Kim looked crazy. Lil Kim looked like a toy, like a Brett doll with a wide backside that don't move, like a Brett doll, but like the stocky version, like she looked weird. Vivica A. Fox was once a fox. Like Shawty had it going. Next thing you know, we looked up, like she hadn't been in movies in a minute, and we hadn't seen her like that. Next thing you know, we look up, and it's just this is ugly. She had the ugly Wanda face, and I was like, that's crazy.
Funky.
That's wild, because I can't even look at her the same. I used to love Tuca Play That Game. You know this.
That was a good movie.
You know
That
this.
was-
I used to love Tuca Play That Game.
that
Tuca
was a
Play That
good
Game
movie.
taught me a lot about how to get out
That
in
was a
this
good movie.
life when it comes to interacting with the opposite sex, all of that. And to see Vivica A.
That
Fox the
movie's
way
hard.
she is now breaks my heart. To see all of it the way it is now. Like anyone that get a surgery, I'll be like, man, that's crazy. I can't even like this because I know like you did this extreme thing to get these likes. I'm not going to indulge in this. I'm not even going to play this game with you. You look stupid. You look crazy as hell.
Hey, if that's what you needed to do to like yourself a little bit more, then So be it.
Pick up a Bible or whatever you need to.
that too.
Look, at that point, the Christian in me says pick up the Bible and get into some self-love and realize God made you the way he do. But even in regards of you don't believe in that. If you believe in crystals and rocks and that this aquamarine rock is going to lead your spirit to greatness, believe in that. But that ain't got nothing to do with surgery. That ain't got nothing to do with the pillow cushions. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. If you want to do yoga, okay, bro. Buddha is your big dog. And he was fat and bald and Teletubby bodied and everything. Rock with what you rock with. But I'm just not here for the experiments. I know Lilo and Stitch came out, but y'all don't have to be any of his cousins. Y'all don't got to be experiment number 195. Don't have to do it. It just looks crazy. Y'all look like ants. Kevin Hart said that. He said they look like ants.
Ant body. Yeah.
And ants got ass. Ants got cake. That's for sure. With the ants
That's
is
funny.
ants is three circles. One is the head. Then it's like a smaller one for like the breast chest area. Then like what like that like an apple on the back. Like it go there, and that's fine.
Look, some people don't feel like taking the however long it take to eat a bowl of red beans, rice, and cornbread every day and go to the gym and do squats or whatever you need to do. Some people just don't. Some people want to hit that cheat code and just pay a little extra. Get it done the way that they do it. And
This
then,
ain't no video
stuff with
game.
that.
This is your life.
Look,
This is your life.
Up, down, left, right, down, triangle, circle, square, X, start.
This is your life.
Video.
This is your life. You over here looking like, it'd be crazy. It'd be wild. And the ones that even don't look crazy, I'm still just upset that you were that, like, and I do understand there are certain situations where like you got enough money to go do it. You know, you got to spend that money or the taxes is on you. So, you know, I guess go ahead and do your thing. But yeah, man, nah, that ain't the ticket.
Look, some people just aren't. I just feel like that kind of decisions that is like be held off until you're like at like a certain age. I feel like because like you're young, like you don't really know how to like love yourself yet. You feel me?
So wait, what age do you feel like you do come into that?
I don't know.
Where like you love yourself? Where like
I don't
you
know.
got like you can acknowledge, you know, those kind of situations.
That's kind of a hard question. I can't tell you. Like I'm an only child, like I said. So a lot of your time you're just stuck with yourself. So you got to learn to either like yourself or don't. And if you don't, that time is gonna feel even longer. So I grew to love myself at a very young age. I like what I like. I dress how I dress. I watch what I watch. I listen to what I listen to, and I do not care what anybody says about it.
Listen, so with all that, right? What does love look like to you? If someone's to ask you, "Hey, how do I go about giving you love in a way where you can identify it and receive it?" What does that look like?
Acceptance.
For just they just accept that you are Brandon, and
I'm talking. The mailman delivered you a package and you signed for it and accepted it. That's what it looked like.
without trying to change you, without trying to judge you.
Without trying to change, judge, all that. Like you hear. That's what it looked like.
For sure. Now, what does it look like for you to give love to somebody? Like what would be the love language in which you give love and all that?
Do I got to pick one of the five?
Nah, I'm saying in general. What does it look like?
You know what? For me, honestly,
we don't talk about enough. We always talk about like love and what it's like to those parameters, but we never really talk about what love looks like to you.
okay, I got you. For
You feel
me,
me?
honestly, it's compromise because I know what I like. Just like I said, I know what I like to eat. I could literally eat the same 3 things every week for the rest of my life. I'll be completely fine with that. If I'm talking to someone, I'm really trying to show them love, and they want to eat somewhere else, I will not be against trying it with you. If you watching a kind of show that I don't necessarily like, or like from a genre I don't necessarily like, I will watch it with you. Like this, the compromise to me is like just giving it a shot. Like
So
I'll
like,
give it a chance.
I love you enough to tap into what you're tapped into.
Yeah.
Because that's how much I love you.
Now, I'm
That
not
would be like the
promising-
biggest
yeah.
gesture of love
Yes.
that you feel like they can give to you and you can give to someone else. It's
Yes.
Like I'm
Just give it a shot.
okay.
yeah.
So okay. So good way to segue into the art category, right? Because in art, we already told y'all we're going to the anime expo.
Yes.
And I hear a lot of cats who are in our bucket of nerddom be like, bro, I would love, and I mean absolutely love, even if she wasn't in the anime beforehand, for her to just show up.
Bro.
For her to just show up and be like, yo, I'll watch an episode with you. I'll try to tap into this with you.
Just give it a shot. That's all that I asked for.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, if my wife don't watch TV like that in general, and what she do is like she'll recycle black TV shows off streaming networks. So we done watch My Wife and Kids 6 times from front to back. We done watch Bernie Mac shows 7 times from front to back. And I'll do that with other shows, like, you know, it just won't specifically be black shows in general. But I'll just do that with like shows I like Family Guy. I'll start from like season 6, let it roll. South Park, go. Boondocks, go. But I'm a nerd, so like I love animation. I'm an artist. I love cartoons. I'll do that with certain shows too, but I'm more likely to do that with like cartoons. Turn Dexter's Lab on, let it run.
Hey, that Nettie.
And then I'll write raps based on like if I was in that scenario, this is what I would do or I'd say it. And then that's kind of just how like some albums get made at that point. Like I'm just really just channel surfing, channel heading.
Look, I'm just saying, my favorite anime is Dragon Ball Z.
And dead.
So I'm saying, look, just
Oh, we got to talk about that too.
just come over, watch a couple episodes, maybe just for me, ask a couple questions to make me feel like, you know, you're trying to figure out like what's going on. I'm not saying you got to watch all however long it is with me. Just watch a couple episodes, maybe like an hour or 2. Make me feel like you're intrigued a little bit. You don't even really have to be. Just ask a couple questions so I can go on my little tangent and, you know, get my stuff off about it. That's it.
Now, how you feel about girls who feel the same way? Because I'm not going to lie. Everything you just explained, when I talk to the homegirls about how they feel about situations, and even in regards to like my wife, that is what like they wish would happen. That's what they like. They've seen it happen. That's where it gets to that point. I know a lot of folks who end up watching Love or wanted, not because they actually cared about what was going on in those artists' life or those girls' lives, but literally just because their girl was watching it, they wanted to spend time with them, they was cuddling, and next thing you know, wow, that's just what's on. Now you consuming it. Now you showing up and being like, what Carly Red do? And then now she's like, oh yeah, Carly Rae did this. And you like watching it like you another little homegirl at the salon out of nowhere. I ended up watching Pop the Balloon because of that. My wife loves Pop the Balloon. I hate it. I hate Pop the Balloon so much with every passion in my heart. I hate that show.
Look,
I hate Pop the Balloon.
I've seen some funny clips, but when I go to the episode, try to watch the whole thing, I can't do it.
Half
But
the
they do have
things,
some funny clips though.
half the things they say, men and women, be pissing me off. Only because I'm like, who would say this? Who would actually say this? Who picks like this? Who does it? And I hate it even more because most of the audience that watches it, they watch it out of hate for the other sex. So I've seen guys criticize Pop the Balloon, being like, girls don't know what they want. Oh my God. Okay, so what is the takeaway from this? I've never seen anyone walk away from this show a better person. Do and everything else.
It's
You'll,
true.
you'll eventually catch it where like
I don't know any. At
even
least.
even if she
There might
like
be some out there.
even if she said that, like the idea of y'all being a family for sure was there. And then maybe she had that idea one day, like, was delusional a little bit, looked at you, realized that would never be, and then woke up. But that idea hits. No one has a baby developing in their stomach and then thinks like, oh, I want this nigga to never have a father. I don't see what you can take from this. Like even those reality TV shows, you can get marketing from them. You ever watch one, you always know they literally have one character that's over the top. That's hella bitchy, hella deceitful, hella grimy, hella sneaky. I'm not saying all that is in one person, but I'm saying these are the archetypes they normally have on the show. So you can watch this show and that's the bad guy. There has to be a bad guy. Same thing with wrestling, same thing with anything you watch. If there's no bad guy, you don't care. Even on this show, we're going to have to develop a sense of bad guy. So, I'm sorry. Like something's going to have to like give. Even in terms of podcasting, right? Either the host has to be the bad guy that you root against, or the host has to be the charismatic guy that you wish like like you're rooting for.
Yeah.
So like even like in those red pill things, like I've watched my little brother watch one, right? His old boy.
Here we go.
I'm saying like even him, he was like, yeah, bro, I teach, and he went to a college campus and was talking, and all the women were like, they were talking against him, and it's either so now your show is watched in the audience a gigantic dude just because people want to hear you say things so they can have an opinion on hating you, or other people want to watch you say things so they can have an opinion on how much like I agree with him. Say what's it do, Andrew Tate?
Oh yeah.
You feel like those kind of cats, or like people like we talk about all the time. People really hated Kevin Samuels.
Oh man, people couldn't stand Kevin Samuels.
People to this day, Kevin Samuel died, and they was like, oh well, ain't that ironic? He died alone.
They was cracking some jokes when he
They
died.
was
I
so
still
mad.
remember that.
They was really upset at Kevin Samuels, and all he did was say, "Hey, don't be unrealistic.
Nah. I'm
Don't
not
be
gonna lie.
unrealistic
I'm not
with what
gonna
you got
lie. No,
going.
He gave it people crazy.
Don't come over here with
Look.
don't come over here with 3 kids telling me how you want this nigga who makes 7 figures.
But
and you're his biggest option.
I do get what you mean. But like, there's a certain way that you also like got to say it.
How's it going?
Like, if you want someone to listen to you, then you got to say it a certain way. Because someone would come on and be like, I'm looking to get in a relationship, yada yada. He but like, you 5 feet. 108, you built like a Prius, and it's like, oh,
You are built. That's what I'm saying. You have to cut the crap. You have to
but
cut
there's
the crap.
There's still a certain way that like you got to say it though.
We have this is like what we did 1 hour. We did 1 hour of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next hour, cutting the crap. That's the art and the nature. I'm cutting the crap. That's you have to cut the crap.
Cutting the weeds.
I'm saying, for example, right? We talked about girls who got BBLs, right? I'm going to say it. You're stupid. You look dumb. It's not a good situation. You're complicating things. And if I have to be serious, if I'm a guy and I walked up to you, invested in these experimental add-ons you just had, guess what? Now when I walk away and we have kids, and my daughter has this gap that I didn't know you had, because I ain't never seen a picture of you before the surgery. I ain't never seen before. I just seen after. Or my son has this walker of a nose. And I didn't know you got your nose tuned up. I didn't know you got the scissor.
You said your nose tuned up.
I didn't know you got the scissor. Have you seen Summer Walker?
Yeah,
She looked dumb.
that's the one with all the face tats, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And the BBL that looked ridiculous. She looked stupid. I can't even listen to Summer Walker because I'm just like, you look like a wet cigarette of a person.
I'm not gonna lie, they are pretty noticeable.
You're nice.
They're pretty noticeable.
You're being nice.
They're pretty noticeable.
You're being nice.
They're not for me, but if you feel like you need this to love yourself, like, look, people got to hit rock bottom first. So they can get back up. Like people have their stuff in their life that they think that they like that makes them feel good. You got to get sick of that before you realize that you didn't need it.
That's not rock bottom.
That's rock bottom, brother.
That's 30 below.
Oh,
That's
cool.
you know
That's
how
30 below
you know how diabolic you have to like not love yourself. That's what I'm asking. Where's the love? And what can we do to bring it
want some
back?
cake?
What can we do to bring it back? Do some squats. Eat some cornbread.
I said
Do
that.
something.
Get some cornbreads and
That's what I'm
red
saying.
beans and rice.
Like you can actually
oxtails.
spend time with it. That's not going to risk your life. If anything,
I said earlier,
the
but that
other
takes too long.
version will elongate your
That
life.
takes too long though.
That takes too long.
We're in a generation now. People want immediate results. I don't want to have to work 6 months to get this figure.
Now, with all of this, I can say it makes sense that you would go for the immediate solution, because if you see people who are gifted more favorable body acquisitions, right? They already just have this there's DNA, heritage, whatever the situation may be, they already have this stuff. And you watch the overall blessings and the not the blessings, but you see how life favors them. And you want that. You have enough money to pay for that, so you immediately want to, grasp a hold of that. Free drinks, club entry, people just happen to spoil you just because of the way you look. All that's fine. And that's fine and dandy, and that's what you want to do, that's up. But and a person who doesn't subscribe to any of those, it looks stupid. And that's cool as Ghetto Nerd saying. I'll be the first one to say, you look dumb. No one will ever get that surgery and come around me and not get told, you are very low value. And you were low value before because you believed you were low value. I'd much rather you like have to overcome that confidence wall and then climb it, and you got there. But you got snipped.
Snip.
You got clip.
They just played a little bit of Tetris.
I was just gonna say,
It's
like,
all right. They
no,
just moved something from one
No.
area to another.
no. Where's the love? Where is the love?
Look, it's like I was saying, people got to add things into their life to fill that hole, right? And they're all temporary. I'm just saying, bro. Look,
I think you know what I think they should add? Jesus.
right on, brother.
I said I'm a Christian. I believe God is love. Love is God.
Right on, brother.
I said a person that don't got no love in their life, you know, it's out. There's a show called Beef. Literally, that whole show is what if
I
you
know that show.
have
The
you
show
have
Asian dude that followed the girl home or
Val,
something. Yeah.
right? You feel me? The whole show is two people who have never accepted actual love in their life, never accepted unconditional joy and love in their heart ever, and they can't let it go. And that pride and ego is poking at them. That devil on one side, angel on one side. The devil is over here. That's like and it's working. It's working. But we're supposed to be in the art, right? We ended up going off on something else.
supposed to be in art.
What's some anime hot takes you hate? That we gonna Anime Expo's
Don't
coming
get me started,
up.
bro. I'm about to go on for like 3 hours.
What's some takes you hate? Because even that comes into the acceptance of art. If you haven't really watched the show with got an opinion, you haven't really, seen things interact. I'm sorry.
Shoot. First one I say, Goku's a bad dad. For sure not. For sure not. Died for his son twice. Hold on.
So I got you. You said the Goku's a bad dad?
Yeah. Goku's a bad dad, bro. He died for his son twice.
I was
People saying that Piccolo is that number. Piccolo did nothing for him. He trained him one time. That was it.
He was always looking at Piccolo like the uncle.
He trained him one time.
Piccolo like an uncle.
He trained him one time.
Piccolo like an uncle.
That's it. Gave him a little bit of advice. That was it. He trained him one time when he was a kid after Goku died, and that was it.
Piccolo like an uncle. I said, okay, I got a hot take. If you hadn't seen Dragon Ball Z, don't talk to me about anime. And that's just how that get. We need to bring back gatekeeping. That's a firm thing I do believe. There's too many people being allowed in these cultures that didn't really do the homework, haven't done the background work, don't really know what they're talking about. I don't think those people should be allowed in the same conversations as the OGs or the people who do know what they're talking about. I was here before it was cool, before it was popular. It's up. If jazz become a popular genre again, unless you really go back and like do your homework on some classics, I don't feel like you can just come out and be like, oh, Cassandra Jackson is the best jazz player of all time.
Cassandra.
Like that's just not, just a random name, but it's like, yeah, you just can't come in here and say that. And you never heard Miles Davis. You never did your homework. In hip hop, we really like, in certain circles, like, bro, if you don't do your homework and know what you're talking about, you're not even allowed in the room. You blessed to be there. Don't come in here telling Eminem how to sing, how to do his verse. You lucky to be in the room.
Look, watching the show back when it was first coming out and then listening to an album back when it first came out is different. Like, you can't experience the same level of hype that was out when it first came out. If you watch it like 20 years, 30 years later, it's not gonna hit the same.
And we gotta normalize telling people to watch Dragon Ball. Not Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball the whole series. You gotta start from the beginning. That's like telling people to start at Shippuden. Like, they're not gonna understand Naruto. They
They're
start
not
at
gonna get
Shippuden.
nothing. They're not gonna get why they're doing the hand signs. They're not gonna get why this white snake man is trying to mess with
very,
that, bro.
very pale.
It's
So
different.
almost a rapist. He's very like at the playground, but not supposed to be in like tone and everything else.
We're not supposed to be outside.
But we gotta wrap the show up and everything. Tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram. My handle is Akiro, Akiro 1A. That's it.
I'm saying for
I'm
sure,
not on
for sure.
any other social media.
I said he really not. I'm saying
I'm trying to get off that
I'm
one,
saying he
but-
got it. He got his like a YouTube series he working on talking about his walk in Christianity, how God be talking to him, how he personally as a Christian goes through his avenues and his adventures with his walk in Christ. The boy done read the Bible twice.
You can find it on my Instagram.
So you feel, yeah, so you know, link in bio and all that. You already know me. I'm Code Speech. You already know this radio for the world. We out here doing the big things. Come check us out at the Anime Expo on Friday. We out here doing the good thing. Denature is supposed to be releasing this project soon. Prerequisites coming out, you know, very, very soon. Yeah, a lot of things in fruition over here. We just pulling it out, popping it up. But yeah, that's really like a good like little tidbit of whatever's going on. We love y'all. You feel me? Thanks for showing up. Thanks for getting a whiff of the roses over here. You know, I hope you enjoyed the smell and the fragrances we put down for you. You know, peace.
You ain't gotta go home, motherfucker, but you gotta get the hell out of here. I'm back next week. We got what you need.
It's time for us to duck, but don't trip. We'll be back next week. Go hit the sheets and go get something to eat. I hope y'all really had fun. Now that the show is done, yo, we out of here. Sign up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We out of here, son. In 5, 4, 3, 2,